book. Reading an IPA book, first try on my Pliny the Elder clone. It's still a little young. It's been only in the bottle for about a week and a half, but it's Easter. I'm at the cabin. What the hell? Kind of an aggressive pour on it. Still barely no carbonation on it. There it is. Tiny bubbles on the side. That's it. Still needs some carbonation, but that'll come in time. So, this book, I'm not going to do a whole book review, but I'm halfway through it. I'm like starting chapter 7, and I can't tell you the number of times that I've read from Mitch say the London water is softer than Brent-on-Trent. So it's very repetitive. First 5 chapters, I mean, read the first few chapters and you've heard it all. Then you can skip to like chapter 7 and then get into new stuff. But if you want to know about the specific breweries, the specific people involved, things like that, I mean, it's a good book for that. But it's a lot of repetition, skipping in the history, going back to 1600s, the 1700s, up to the 1800s, and then scattered throughout the 1800s, here in 1804, 1856, 1888, back to 1800, 1806, and it's like back and front, and back and front, and back and front. It's just, it's a lot of repetition. And he repeats the same thing on like 4 or 5 different topics, almost verbatim, over and over and over, just slightly differently. Well, that wouldn't be verbatim, would it? But in subsequent chapters, I mean, it's basically saying the same thing in a different context. But yeah, so I'm halfway through it. I'm just getting to the part specifically about IPAs, recipes in contemporary. The contemporary sense. Get into the craft beer IPA period. Alright. And then we'll start talking more about the IPA recipes, things like that. So I'm really looking forward to that. That will be beneficial. Okay, so what else I got? This week, I became a kegger. So I'm joining the kegging community. I got my first keg. Got a 5 kilogram CO2 tank. I got the 2 outlets. I'll show it to you. So let me go ahead and show it to you real quick. And right, we'll wait till the end. Big shout out to Lermo22 for getting with me earlier this week, trying to do like a simultaneous beer review. Things didn't work out quite the way that we hoped, so that footage will probably never be shown. Big shout out to Everyday Studios. Actually, I took a closer look at my elements in both the HLT and the boil kettle, and there is rusting on the face. So I took them apart and cleaned them all up with my Dremel and put them back in. Now the one in the boil kettle is actually going to develop the surface so that it will prevent rust in the future without any additions to the kettle. But in the HLT, because there is no acidity in the liquid, which there will be in the boil kettle, that will create that the face on the metal to prevent the rusting. In the HLT, that will never happen. So what I have to do is actually drill another hole, put in a magnesium pole inside there, which will act as an anode and prevent the rust from happening on the face of the element. So I'll show you a couple pictures of that too. So I got a fan for the brewery, so the fan is going to take all the fumes away and all the humidity, all the condensation, and my wife will be happy about that. So yeah, I want to wish you guys a happy Homebrew Wednesday. stay tuned for some footage of the new equipment and also the elements. So, happy Homebrew Wednesday, cheers, have a great Easter. Okay, so here you can see there is actually rust on my element, on the 5500 watt Camco, I believe is what it was. And this is a result of after 2 brews, actually. And then I did clean out the kettle and dried it out on the inside. Did not leave water in the kettle, but there is still rust. So I'm using a stainless steel nut here in order to... Alright, a little bit of work with the Dremel. What the hell did we do before there were Dremels? I don't know. But I don't want to remember. But yeah, working with the Dremel, cleaned it right up, ready for the next brew. So here we go, the brand spanking new keg, 5-gallon keg, with a 5 kilo, was that 12-pound CO2 tank. I got that at a place that they sell fire extinguishers, obviously, for about half price that I'd pay it for in my home brewery store. So, at the tip, they sell CO2 canisters and fill up at your the place where you can buy fire extinguishers. So check it out. For the keg and the gauges, I also bought a 2-way gauge. That way I can have one on serving pressure and one on charging pressure. Got the standard outlet, but I went ahead and took everyone's advice and got the 10-foot cable, so hopefully I won't have any foaming problems with that. I did get the extra inlet connector over there, so when I need it, I'll only actually be using the one for now. So yeah. Another purchase I got today was a fan. So I got the big fan to mount up on the wall in order to extract all the condensation and the steam coming out of the boil kettle. In comparison to that boil kettle, look how big that sucker is. That's a pretty good sized fan there. I did get it second hand, so I gotta clean it up a little bit, but what was really cool is that I actually got it and it came with the controller already, so I won't have to jimmy rig one of those up myself. And compared to my hand size, you can see this sort of thing is huge. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting hole to make in the wall. Maybe I'll be able to just sort of hang it out the window, drop it down over the window, fasten it up somehow, just temporarily to see how it goes.